War is coming. I'm the messenger, and death is what I will deliver.
You have to get out of there. I can't protect you. He's coming for all of you.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm certainly better now that I'm talking to you.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Look, we have some, like, I watched this movie, but it's a mixture of feelings because the idea of watching this kind of films, it's like you're going to spend a lot of action, a lot of shooting. It has shooting, but what I like is this manipulation game.
Oh, yeah.
And when you read the script, is there any rehearsal? Is anything, because the chemistry, the flowing, the narrative is there, like it works. So how do you create something like that? It starts when you start reading the script for the first time, or is on the set when you are already prepared to shoot the scene?
It actually starts with one simple moment of a table read, and after that, it is about the dynamic of the characters together. And that I'm so happy you asked that because it's something that made me very proud of this film. It had to flow in order to get the real sense of the dynamic between all of us. And what I'm hearing from everybody is that they got it. And what makes me so happy is that we didn't have time to rehearse. Sure, you do a walkthrough for a second with Scott. Sure, you get set up and you know where you are. But this type of movie, it moved so fast for us once we got to Italy. It was a nonstop thing. And except for the table read, where you have one moment to just do it with the group and move on, there was nothing else. So when you think about that, and you think about how the characters all aligned and the banter that went back and forth, how natural it was, it really came from a connection I had in my specific situation. It was mostly with Tom.
Yeah.
He's such a wonderful actor and has had so much time on camera that it made me feel so good that we had a similar method and we were able to connect.
Yeah, you can tell because I know your character had a past, so you didn't have to talk about the past. I mean, we knew. And then everything that happens after that, it's like, yes, these people knew each other from any situation from the past.
We definitely didn't hate each other.
Of course not. And I love that scene when you see him again after so many years. It's like,
great?
yes. And then the other scene, what happened, and then the argument. It's like when you have feelings for someone,
right?
And you don't know what it is.
No, and it's like it's there, but we wanted to make sure the audience didn't really understand it because I knew there was this twist at the end.
Yeah.
And here I am, when you think about it now, having seen the whole film, here I am being somebody who knew him in a past life, but I couldn't even really show him who I was.
Exactly.
Because I was working. So did I have feelings for him, or was I trying to figure things out in a case? Or did it happen by accident because I got too close to a case?
Yeah,
so
but
it's cool.
In the line of work, it's kind of hard to have feelings. So when you show feelings to someone, I mean, it felt. I can tell you that your relationship in the movie with Tom, it felt like you guys knew each other from something that happened. I don't know.
Great. That's
like
great. That's great feedback. Thank you, Ruben.
Like you as an audience, like me as an audience, I can put it. Like, okay, I don't know. They went on a mission. They were lovers. So many things. But that's my job as an audience. And something that I really like, and I was reading about you. I didn't know you're a PI. That's cool? Pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
How cool is that?
It's super cool and scary. Honestly.
I know. I try to hide it a lot, but then when it comes out, it's so cool that I don't want to hide it.
Did you use any of the skills in the movie? Like, I don't know, any that you had a conversation with the director or recommendation to the script or anything?
Yeah, I did actually. There was a lot of times where a lot of directors don't want to divert very much from what they see as their vision. In this case, Scott was really good at wanting us to feel our character and play it out. And Scott was the writer as well.
Hmm.
So the good part was that, excuse me, by the way, I have some major laryngitis.
That's
But we're
fine.
gonna
Just sounds great.
listen, we're gonna just say it's the sexy role right now. So,
Yeah, like Phoebe in Friends. This is the
yeah,
sexy
we're
voice
just
everybody
going
has.
sexy. That's all.
Yes,
We're giving you an exclusive sexy interview.
I love it. I take it.
So when Scotty let us be ourselves, I felt like for every character that I've ever played, I kind of channel something from my life that makes me feel like I've been put into that character. This was hands down the best role ever for me because I was able so quickly to channel things that have happened to me in real life when I used to go
Yeah.
undercover. And I would literally be put in situations where I had no clue, honestly, how dangerous they were because I was like, I could do it. Oh, it's okay. Looking back, there have been so many times, Ruben, that they were such dangerous situations that could have gone one way or another. And I just stuck to the role and I just kept playing the character I was told to play. And I'd like kind of get my information, I'd get out. So I kind
Hmm.
of did that on the set. I honed in on that idea and I'm like, okay, in this scene, we need to go from A to B. And
Yes.
although I could have added in other things, it's almost like I manipulated the scene to be what I used to feel when I was out doing a job. It's really cool.
You have done a drama, you've been comedy. Is any different mindset in these kind of roles when you know you have to shoot, when you're gonna be involved in a shooting, where you're gonna be chasing, it's gonna be fights. Is any different mindset going to into this role than going into a different perspective, or you let the director to play his game and you trust this person, or is something that changed in your mind? Okay, now it's gonna be more physical than emotional.
I'll tell you, I love all the roles I've played, but this specific role was able to allow me not only to show that chameleon side that I understood how to play, but I was able to be a badass, to be honest. Let's just call it what it is. I'm like a mini Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Like that's the way that I played out this thing. I am definitely sweet, kind, and I could play everything you want me to play in between love, romance. But if you tell me that I can get down and I could get dirty and I could be somebody that's tough, but be that sexy figure for you to watch on camera, hands down, that's my role. And I love the idea of being
I,
able to get tough with them.
exactly. I have a good friend, and he's an actor now. But when we were kids, like we were talking, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I mean, we start saying stuff, whatever. And he said, I want to be an actor. And I say, really? Why? I mean, I'm from the Dominican Republic, a small country.
Yeah.
We don't have an industry. And like, why do you want to be an actor? But he said, because I have the opportunity. This is kids talking. Like, I have the opportunity to be different people and never stop being myself.
Isn't that cool?
Like you can play a small part of, I don't know, like a killer. You can be a person you love. You can
Yeah.
do so many things for a short period of time. You can be so many people
Yeah, you get
and
to be,
live different lives.
and you get to be different professions. And it's like, I don't know if you know the full story, but when I was doing the PI stuff, I did that. I'll share something with you. I did that with somebody who at the time needed someone that was able to act the role better. He had had a staff full of people that were, police officers and this and that and blah, blah. They knew the logistics of what the job was that needed to get done. But as an actor, I played that role very differently. And that was why, is because your friend hit the nail on the head. It's the idea, and I think any actor would agree with me. It's the idea of jumping in and out of these roles and being able to see what it's like to transform yourself and actually get into that character and play it out. And that's why on a film like this, I think Tom has said it many times in his interviews as well. Scott was somebody that allowed us to really hone in on what we wanted to. And as you saw with Cam, you could see what a live wire he was. And Scott said that to him as well. Like, take this character and run with it. And you don't know what a gift that is, because on so many different sets, writers or directors have their own view. And if you divert too much, I think sometimes it's disappointing to them because they have their own vision. I think it's wonderful when you have somebody that allows you to go on your own creative path with it, as long as you still hit the notes that tell the story, which we obviously do because we're all skilled actors. So I found that to be amazing, you know, and I'm not just saying that because I don't know if you know this, but Scott is my husband. So I'm not just saying that because
of course not. No,
I'm not just saying that
you're
because
no
I
bias.
have to. Listen,
You're no
it's not because
bias.
I have to.
I mean,
No, but I was very proud of the fact that this became a little bit of a family, you know,
I mean, poor Tom.
Affair.
Poor Tom, because he was exposed to be in a relationship with you in a movie while your husband is watching everything, and he said, "Cut, we got it." No, but we can do it better. No, we got it.
Let me tell you a funny story. At one point, it came to the part where we started to get intimate. Yes.
Exactly. I can't even picture that.
Something very funny. He looked at me and said, "Better your husband here than my wife."
Well, probably yes.
I thought that was very cute. Tom's a very big family man. Something we loved about him. He has 2 little kids. And the little girl in the movie, Ruben, is my daughter.
I read that.
Did you read
that's
that?
pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Like how do you bring your daughter to be part of this movie? Like, that's super cool for me. Like, I have a daughter. If I have the chance to do that, I guess that's a core memory for forever. And you never know what's gonna happen next.
You know, it was such a wonderful thing. She's been traveling with me since the movie you see behind me, Death in Texas, when I worked with Stephen Lang and Bruce Stern in that movie. Portia was only 9 months old when that came out. And she was in the movie as this little baby. And here she was literally with mommy to the trailer and then on set with me. And she grew up doing this with me. And she has been literally traveling with us to sets, working with me on all my movies. And of course, that'll not happen that often. So it is something of a memory that I could never replace a time with her. The fact that she sees herself now and she's so proud of herself is the cutest thing. She still thinks Tom is her Uncle Terry. We're trying to, but he's Superman. He's a cool uncle being Superman.
He's Superman.
But Ruben, to be doing that in Rome too. I mean, did you see the scenes? How beautiful.
That was my next question. Like, how cool was that shooting in Rome? Like, how cool is I mean, just being in Rome for me, it was an experience the first time that I went. But for you as an actress, being working there and enjoying the whole atmosphere of being on that beautiful city, and then like shooting, like how many people dream just like being exactly doing that, and you guys got the chance to do that. But something also that I want to add, and I want to ask you, the whole movie is based also in characters, because the first character that we see is Cam, his character, like he's a bad guy, and he's kind of, I don't know, it has this Tarantinesque way of behaving, but being mean, and but he get the job done. Like that's why he's hired. How was explained your character to you, and what did you bring to your character as new added after your husband explaining how it's gonna be? I wrote it for you, I'm sure. and how was the experience of filming in Rome?
Well, now that you know that, Scott had a little back history with me, he had known that I had done this PI work, right? He kind of explained the character similar to what I've told him about how I felt when I went out on these jobs, that I was this chameleon. And he explained to me that, Sphinx has a really complicated relationship with Tom because she knows she can't tell him why and how she knows all this about him. She can't reveal who she really is. But there was a chemistry, obviously, with them, which you got, right, from watching. There was this chemistry that they had since Ibiza. And when the chemistry started, it obviously never really stopped. And what I think he wanted me to understand from the character was that he wanted there to be something of a strong connection and love, but he also wanted there to be, or some type of electric chemistry. Yeah. But he also wanted there to be this mystery to the audience of who Sphinx was going to actually turn out to be. You know, the trailer, I loved the way that the PR picked out what they were going to do, because it really left you looking at this girl who's like almost like a sex object on the trailer. Yes. You don't know what she's doing. And then all of a sudden you see her with a machine gun. So was she on Tom's team? Right, exactly. And in a nun outfit. So is she on Tom's team or she against Tom?
Exactly.
And by the way, Scott has a crazy sense of humor, Ruben, because about Rome and shooting there. He had us outside the Vatican in a nun in a priest costume. I mean, do you know what the tourists? It was so fun. So the character was explained to me, but then, like I said, it was something where I think it was for me to own what I was going to do with it, to take Sphinx from this sex object to showing people, wait, that's not who she is. And it, you know, it wasn't an easy transformation either, because really, when you think about it, this is all supposed to be happening in a day. This is a fast moving movie. And as you go through it, you're almost, it's something of a transition, but it's such a fast transition that if I miss a beat, you may miss something also, because it has to be smooth enough for you to understand, but yet fast enough to keep you going.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge. It is a challenge. We made it look, I hope, a lot easier, but it was something of a real work of art between all of us and our formats on how we act.
As an actress, as a creator, because also you're a model, what do you expect that the audience take away from this movie? Because we have seen so many action movies. We're going to see a lot of twists. We're going to see a lot of new characters. We're going to have a lot of dialogue, because that's what really surprised me. There's a lot of dialogue, but not like empty words. There's something that they have to say. What do you expect that the audience that's going to watch this movie take from your movie?
I believe that they're going to take from this that there is more to be seen, and that there is possibly a sequel sitting right
sequel. Us. I mean, you have inside information. Come on. You have inside information.
Yeah, I have heard it, and I responded to it. That I love the idea that these characters have brought you in. The verbiage, like you're saying, the words. Something that Scott does, which I do love, is that his movies go from action, but they show a lot of heart. There is a feeling, there is an emotion behind each of the things that are written there, and a little sarcasm with the Superman ideas and stuff. There's always something. If you listen, if you really listen, you're gonna find that. And I love how much you took in this movie, because the characters have a life still. This relationship between Tom and myself, Terry and Sphinx,
yes,
they're going to go somewhere else with this. There's another world for them to explore that's going to be just as dynamic, if not more, than Rome.
Oh,
and we get to explore it together, and hopefully they're on the same team this time, right from the beginning.
You're gonna be in that, like you said, you're gonna have your Mr. and Mrs. Smith in Europe. That would be so cool.
That'd be great. We could come to the DR.
Oh. You're welcome. We have a great film law, and I'm sure you will find something to do.
Oh, I'm sure that would work out just great.
We have great beaches. We have beautiful ones. Cher, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations.
Hey, Ruben, I have one special thing for you.
Yes.
Come over here. Come here, hurry up. Hurry up. Wait a second, I got a special guest for you. Yeah, you know, come say hi. You sure? Come here. Let's go.
Thank you.
Come on.
She's shy?
Hi, come here. Come say hi real quick. Okay, she just got home from a long day, but she wanted to say hi, so I thought I'd let her do her first exclusive.
Hi.
Okay, now she's tired. Ruben, I tried. I gave you exclusive on the raspy voice and the daughter.
How old is she?
She just turned 5.
My daughter is 5.
Oh, so you get it.
So I know. Trust me, I know. It's just a wave of emotions, because one day she want to be on camera, other day she just, I don't want pictures. Like a paparazzi. I feel like
In
a
the
paparazzi
meantime,
sometimes.
as I go through 50,000 in my phone, right? And as she watches herself, and I want you to know, I thought it was very cute. She just started school, and they were all watching the film. And she
What?
walked around today like a little celebrity because everybody saw her.
But did she ask you about like, Mom, who's that guy who's kissing you or hugging you?
You know what was interesting? It was interesting when she had her mom there, and she said, "Mommy, she's my fake mommy." And then we saw her when we were off. We saw her at one of the parks in Rome, and she goes, "Hey, there's my fake mom."
That's my real mom, of course.
So it was very cute, and she really does love Tom. She thinks he's amazing, but she still calls him her Uncle Terry.
He's Superman. You see,
Yeah.
when she realized that she was working next to Superman, that the fake dad is Superman. Oh, that'll be cool.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't
Awesome.
that great? Oh, look, now you got a peek, Ruben. Well, I just wanted to introduce you. She was very excited. She's really not shy. She goes up to everybody and says, "I'm a little movie star."
You are a movie star.
You did
Just
great
believe it.
movie, kid. We're proud of you.
How are you, brother?
I'm great, man. Happy to be hanging with you. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I had the opportunity to speak Cher, and he mentioned a lot of things about the chemistry that you guys created in so like little time, and I wonder, like, in this kind of movies, when it's so many twists that we don't know who is on the side, like we don't know who's the good person. How do you handle that before to create to do not give hints? It's something that you work with the director, with Scott, like previously, or is it something that you guys work while you are filming the movie? Because I'm really curious about how do you manage, how the team manage the secrecy of the project, of who and what's going to happen in the end.
I think it's true for any artist. Like when you show up to set, you want to have done a lot of the work beforehand, not just memorizing lines, not just understanding your relationships with the different other characters, but also understanding emotionally what's motivating me to act a very particular way in this particular scene. Like, who am I trying to impress, seduce, show off for, humiliate? Like, what are my objectives with each person that I'm interacting with? And with Jack, I just felt like I understood him so well. Like, this is a guy that in some ways never grew up when he was a kid. Like, he got hurt by his brother. Maybe he was humiliated by his dad. This is what I often imagine because of my own relationship with my dad. I felt at times like I really craved his love, but I wasn't sure if he loved me. And by some of the ways that he interacted with me. And of course, as an adult, I understood he was doing what he was doing the best that he knew how, right? He was trying to show me the most love that he understood from the way that his father showed him love. And so anyway, when you come from that environment, when you grow up, you always have this chip on your shoulder, like, I got something to prove, and I'm going to show these people like that they can't mess with me. And Jack's way of doing that is he wants to dominate everybody in any room that he walks into. He wants respect, and he's going to be really aggressive to try and humiliate the other people around him to get it. And he'll literally kill them if he has the opportunity to. If they've literally just said a bad word to him, he wants to fuck them up. Okay, sorry if you bleep that out.
No, it's fine.
I mean, it's an R-rated movie, right? So I figure.
I love the passion because you say something important. It's like, how do you bring your personal life to create a character like this?
Yeah.
Like it's like a therapy for you, because I felt it and I saw your face. Like you brought something personal and you give it a life through Jack.
Yeah.
Like it's something pretty cool to me.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, as the audience, like, they don't know what's motivating the behavior. All they can sense is this feel real or not? And if it feels real, they'll tune in. If it doesn't feel real, they'll tune out, and their mind will wander. They'll think about something else. Like, they don't know in that moment that, oh, I'm not paying attention because it feels inauthentic. They just feel like, oh, maybe this part is a little bit boring. I'll pay attention halfway. But when an actor really feels an intense emotion, whether they're showing it outwardly or it's just underneath the surface, an audience can't look away. At least I say this as when I'm an audience, right? Because I'm constantly watching movies and TV shows. I can feel when the actor feels it intensely. And so anyway, about Jack, what I love about Jack is like, Jack is the kind of person that will feel the emotion and he wants everybody to know it. He's not he's not strategic, right? Like he's not cunning. He just wants to destroy everybody around him like a loose cannon. Contrast that with the Griff character, which played brilliantly by Cam, and he's very strategic. Like he's very much gonna lie to you. He's gonna make you think something because he has a plan on how he's gonna dominate you with giving you misinformation. My character is like really in awe of Cam because he's able to do that, but I'm not able to be under control in environment after environment. So anyway, that's what I loved about playing Jack. It was like playing a kid. Literally a kid in a grown-up's body that just wants to, like the schoolyard bully.
How long it stays with you a character like that after you finish everything? How long it stays something like that? Because Cam's character, for me, it's like a kind of like a cartoonish character, but like a violent cartoonish character, because that's the first that we see in the movie doing something, while he's talking to the other guy, trying to get information to the Italian guy. And then it's kind of cartoonish the way he moves. But I wonder how it stays with you for a long time when you finish filming, because it's a violent character. So like, I don't know if you go outside and you try to do boxing or something that you do to canalize your energies.
No. You see, the thing is like to live inside of Jack is like a very tumultuous, like it's a manic. The way I think about him is he's manic depressive, right? So they're real high highs and real low lows. Like it's just big emotional outburst after outburst. And the thing that I felt after playing Jack is when the director would call cut at the end of the day, hey, that's a wrap for the day, is I would just feel tired, like just exhausted. Because to live in this state that he has, like it's a lot of stamina. It's a lot of emotional stamina and a lot of output. Of course, I felt like exhausted in a really like grateful way. Like that was so much fun. But also I'm like, oh, I need to go meditate. I need to eat something. I need to just relax.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
How cool is shooting Rome? Because I've been in Rome and then those sequences of action movies in Rome, the action that you had in Rome, it's something different than shooting in the States. Like how cool is to be in Rome and being a shootout and chasing and doing awesome things? Because for me, I just want to be part of a movie to do that.
Yeah, it's an adrenaline rush, man. Like playing in an action movie like this, and of course being surrounded by this ancient beauty everywhere. I felt like the movie was a period piece just because of our environment around us, even though it's clearly set in the modern day. It's current, but I just felt like I feel like I'm doing this 1,000 years ago. Like, and that was a really cool feeling. It's amazing to be, and the Italian people were just so hospitable, so nice. Of course, the food was authentic Italian food. It was amazing, right? So no complaints. Yeah, it was. I felt blessed to do it there.
How's the mindset is it as an actor? How's your mindset when you have to portray a violent character? Is the same thing that you have to do it when you portray in a drama period of a comedy or something different as an actor, or you just go with the same energy but just canalizing differently?
The thing that I have playing through my head before the day starts, before they say action, is I want to study that script. I want to be not just understanding my character's emotions and what his objective is, but when action is called, it's my job to be absolutely fucking committed to my outcome as a character. And whether that outcome is to humiliate, it's to annihilate, to kill, it's to make someone laugh, it's to at one point it's to like plead or beg in the movie, and people that watch the movie will see that a very surprising interaction that I have with another character. But whatever it is that I'm feeling as a character, I want to be fully, totally, 100% committed to that. Because what's beautiful about film and television, about acting in general, is like somebody somebody's called acting this way. I can't remember in this moment who it was. Famous acting teacher. He said, "Acting is life with all the boring bits cut out." So what we're trying to do as artists is we're trying to show those absolute most intense feelings in a way that is true to their character. Now, obviously, most characters that I play or that any actor plays is not a manic psychopath. Like that's just not like a normal thing that someone is in real life. But if I am going to play that, then I want to do the audience a service by letting them, for a moment, I want them to feel what it's like to be in the presence of that person. And also, I think that in every single person, what's amazing about playing villain characters is that in every person, there is light and there is darkness. Whether that darkness gets expressed or to whatever level that darkness is expressed, it's there. And so people can resonate with an evil character because they know that there is a version of them that can do a bad thing, even if they never ever would. And that's why they are gripped. If it's done well, they're gripped by the presence of that person because it's like, oh shit. Like whether they would ever admit it or say it, or obviously most people would never kill another human being. It's not my point. My point is like the darkness that they're free to express. I have a little bit of that. And that's why we just love dark characters. I love dark characters. I mean, of course I love a good hero, but oftentimes I'm much more drawn to, like my favorite movie performance is Charlize Theron in Monster. So the role that she won the Oscar for, she's that psychopathic killer. It's just like how she played the intense emotional states of that character and just how she was just free in the body of I forget the murderer's names, but she was just so free. It just felt so real. I was like, I felt, even though this person's a psychopath, what's amazing is she played it in such a vulnerable way that I felt for her. Like I felt compassion for her. This psychopath weirdo. Like, and I just think that is the amazing thing about art is that, and true, really good acting is like, we can feel the humanness behind the evil actions that person does.
My favorite is Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood. That's my favorite psychopath, crazy character, but it's evil, but it's brilliant. Because one of the beautiful thing about characters like that, like you guys had, like you and Cam had, is like me as an audience, I can create their past. Like I can imagine what they went through to be like this now. And also, but that happens when you have a really good writer and you have the opportunity to work with Scott, and that he wrote the movie and directed. So how special is to work with Scott? Like he knows his character, he knows what he's doing, and the way he introduces to you that character and the way he directed with you. How special was working with Scott?
Well, I have to say I do prefer to work with writer directors whenever possible. As opposed to someone who directs another person's piece of work, just because I feel like they have such a clear vision for their characters, because they've just had to develop a story. Like writing a screenplay is not easy. Writing a screenplay that gets made is way harder. And so I had a lot of conversations with Scott, as much as I, as in respecting his task, like he's got a lot to do, a lot of different things to manage. His director's job is the hardest job of all. But as many times as I could get a conversation, get in a word with him, I would ask him about it. Like I would try to understand Jack. I would try to understand his backstory, how he sees it, so that I can play it as true to his vision as possible. So it was amazing. I mean, Scott is so prolific. He's written like hundreds of screenplays, so this is not his first rodeo. And it was definitely a pleasure. I hope I get to work with him again.
My last question is, how do you feel about the now we have probably more extended distribution in our homes than a theatrical theater? How do you prefer the people watch Mafia Wars? At home or at the movies?
Well, of course, as an actor, you want to be able to have the thing seen on the biggest screen possible, as always. But this one didn't get a traditional theatrical release, and so it's going to be digital. And yet, I say that first piece with the caveat that, of course, I am so glad that there are so many other services, so many other ways for people to consume content today than there was 100 years ago. Like 100 years ago, there was so few movies made. There was just like 100 working actors, like at any given time. But now the industry is so much expanded because there's so many more platforms, so many different services that need content and are willing to pay for it. So I feel really lucky that as an actor, I get to work in today's day and age, just because there's so much more opportunity than there ever has been before.
I appreciate your time. Thank you for your patience, man. And thank you so much for, and congratulations. I think it's a fun movie. You are surrounded by a great cast. The action scenes and sequences, it was fun. Like for me, it's so badass when you say Cher's character with a machine gun. It's like go back to the 70s watching these Class B movies where like blondes with guns. It's a fun movie to watch. And I recommend it to people to watch it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ruben. It's been a joy hanging out with you and getting to talk about
Thank
this
you, Sterling.